From Drop Biscuit Studios and the people who brought you Wondery's Inside Jaws, Inside The Exorcist, and Inside Psycho comes You Talking to Me? Bite-sized Hollywood history with plenty of bite.
Billy Wilder wrote some good ones. This is You Talking to Me? I'm Mark Ramsey. Long before he was a Hollywood writer and director, the legendary Billy Wilder was just another Jewish émigré fleeing Hitler's Nazi tyranny and a likely death sentence. He was born in what is now Poland in 1906 and was almost 30 by the time Hitler took control of Germany, where he was living at the time. He dabbled in film in those early days and yearned to escape Europe for freedom, American style. He got to Hollywood in 1934 thanks to a film treatment he wrote, which sold to Columbia Pictures. A fellow refugee convinced Columbia to send Wilder a boat ticket one way. His introduction to the world's motion picture capital? A 6-week contract at $150 a week on a 3-month visitor's visa. As his visa expired, he would have to leave the U.S. to get another visa and re-enter as a resident alien. But there were quotas, and the odds didn't favor him. He would have to apply outside the country and wait and hope. And as a Jewish refugee fleeing Hitler, there was a real chance he would be sent back home to Europe, and that would mean certain death. Wilder drove his beat-up 1928 DeSoto south to San Diego and east to Calexico, where he crossed into Mexico. The closest American consulate was in Mexicali, a border city in the Mexican state of Baja California, 190 miles from LA and as close to freedom as it was to a death sentence. He checked into a cheap, seedy hotel, packed with other would-be immigrants, some of whom had spent years trying to re-enter the U.S. And there, he waited. It was one of the most depressing times of his life. The uncertainty, every day, for weeks on end. Finally, a crack in the walls separating him from America. Wilder had earned an appointment at the U.S. consulate. Only an appointment, but this was his chance. Now, or maybe never. He entered the consulate and met with an American official. It wasn't a hot day, but Wilder was drenched in sweat. He was panicked, terrified. He needed a ream of documents, affidavits, official proof of former residence, sworn testaments that he had never been a criminal or an anarchist. He didn't have any of that. He had nothing, zilch. Just his passport and his birth certificate and a few letters from some American friends vouching for him. He's a good guy, let him stay. It was hopeless, he thought. The consul. He looked at Wilder, then down at his meager documentation. "Is that all you have?" he asked. "Yes," Wilder replied. He explained that his escape from Berlin was hasty, that he had tried without success to get the necessary papers from Nazi Germany. "If you send me back to Germany," he said, "they will put me on a train and ship me to Dachau." The consul kept staring at him. Wilder wasn't sure whether he was getting through or not. "What do you do?" the consul asked. "I mean, professionally." I write movies," Wilder replied. The consul stepped behind Wilder and paced back and forth as if he was sizing him up. Then he stepped back to his desk, picked up Wilder's passport, opened it, stamped it twice, and handed it back to a sweating and anxious Billy Wilder. "You write movies?" he asked. "I do." "Write some good ones." Thanks to that man, Billy Wilder had his ticket back to America. He would go on to become one of the most brilliant and versatile filmmakers in Hollywood history. He made movies like Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard, The Apartment, Some Like It Hot, and many more. He was nominated for a Best Director Oscar 8 times, winning twice, and for 13 screenplay Oscars. He would win 3. Wilder would never forget what he always called that dear man in Mexicali, the man who had paved the way to America and life and freedom, the man who had challenged him to write some good ones. He would spend the rest of his career doing exactly that. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening right now, and give us a 5-star rating. Please share the show with your friends. That's You Talking to Me. I'm Mark Ramsey.